CTV News at 5 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us on this Tuesday, July 29th. Charges of attempted murder have been laid in the stabbing of a Wikwemikong tribal police officer yesterday. OPP confirmed the 20-year-old arrested yesterday in connection with the incident has been charged and is in custody until a bail hearing tomorrow. The officer was attacked with a knife early Monday morning while responding to a call on Andrew Crescent and had to be airlifted to Sudbury's Health Sciences North. Wikwemikong tribal police say the officer is recovering well. 3 First Nations are coming together to search the former St. John's residential school sites near Chapleau. The story may be upsetting to some viewers. CTV's Lydia Chubak has the details. A 41-year-old woman died early this morning in Sudbury after being struck by a train. Police responded around 7 this morning to a collision on Harry Crescent where a pedestrian suffered fatal injuries. The area and nearby roadways were shut down for 3.5 hours. Police say foul play is not suspected at this time.
We determined that there was no foul play in this collision. It was an accident.
And a spokesperson for Canadian Pacific tells CTV News that the incident remains under investigation and that the train was temporarily stopped. It is a much cooler day out there, and it's time for your first check on weather. So let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman.
First take on weather, Tony, brought to you by CAA. Get your membership today at caa.ca. This is the system that's moving through northeastern Ontario. Some favorable weather and temperatures are about to affect the northeast. Loads of sunshine for the next couple of days. A slight hint of precipitation perhaps overnight leading into tomorrow, but otherwise some sunshine, some nice temperatures. We'll talk about that and a lot more coming up in just a couple of minutes. Tony, back to you.
Thanks so much for that, Rick. A frightening scene in French River last night. A commercial vehicle was traveling Highway 64 last night when it veered onto the shoulder to avoid hitting a passenger vehicle head-on. It rolled over as it pulled off the road, and police had to close the highway in both directions for just over 6 hours. The passenger vehicle was reportedly driving down the center line of the road. Police are now looking for the 2 occupants of that vehicle, which they say may have been a black Volkswagen Golf or a Jetta hatchback. Anyone with information can call police or Crime Stoppers. North Bay police are hoping the public can help identify a suspect after a break-in over the weekend. Police releasing this surveillance video of the individual believed to be responsible for the break and enter on McLaren Street Sunday afternoon around 2:30. The man was wearing a black hat, had a beige backpack, and was riding a gray bicycle. North Bay police say additional and similar incidents have been reported in the area. More than 1,200 grams of cocaine and fentanyl were off the streets after a drug bust in Greater Sudbury. As a result of a drug enforcement unit investigation, police conducted a targeted traffic stop on Highway 69 yesterday and found the drugs in the vehicle worth more than $125,000. A 31-year-old from Durham region has been arrested and charged. For more on this story, don't forget, head to our website, CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. Excavators could be heard in downtown Sudbury on Shaughnessy Street again today as the downtown is changing even more. CTV's Madison Merrier has details.
Demolition began on the old Wacky Wings building in downtown Sudbury. It's the final structure to come down for what the city says will become the new downtown development. Wacky Wings was purchased by the city in 2023 as part of the $12 million plan to buy properties within a 2-block radius of the Sudbury Arena. Wacky Wings owner Craig Burgess had been fighting to keep his restaurant where it was with the hopes of being integrated into the new facility. Despite disappointment in having to move, Burgess released this statement to CTV News saying, "We are very excited to open our new location and see all our loyal customers, and look forward to the opportunity to welcome them again." Wacky Wings has purchased the former Northern Brewery's building on Lawrence Street with hopes of reopening next year. We spoke to a concerned citizen who said while this might look like progress, he worries.
I think that people really have to look at, because this is what makes a community. So are we making our community better, or are we tearing down?
The city of Greater Sudbury said in a statement to CTV News. The former Wacky Wing site will form part of the footprint of the new event center downtown, replacing the existing community arena, providing a state-of-the-art venue designed to host concerts, shows, sporting events, and other large-scale entertainment experiences, adding that the site will become temporary parking in the interim. According to the city, the construction on the new event center is set to begin in 2026. Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
All right, it's time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5. Rick has your full weather forecast. Right now, let's head to South River on this live webcam, courtesy of Northern Creations. Check out the backyard chickens. Oh, you see a little bit of one. It's 24 degrees in South River. We'll be right back.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Here we go. Nice looking forecast coming up for the next couple of days, depending on where you live, but there might be a bit of precipitation. Let's begin with a look at our forecast radar for this evening, heading into the overnight. And of course, we'll get into some of the temperatures and more momentarily. As you can see, that system moving through into tomorrow. Then, of course, the odd hint of precipitation for the next little while. But again, not too serious, to say the least. Or as they say in some circles, not too shabby. There's an air quality statement right across the northeast right now. Local smoke pretty well everywhere, maybe with the exception of Perry Sound. So 23 for tomorrow, Greater Sudbury. And again, 22 Thursday, 23 Friday, Saturday 27, and 28. You got to like that forecast. How about Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma? More of the same. 4 consecutive days of sunshine and, of course, some sun and cloud come Sunday. Local smoke in the forecast, 22, 21, 24, 26, and 27. Let's see what's going on in Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing. Local smoke, chance of showers, risk of a thunderstorm for tomorrow. Then it gets better. 3 consecutive days of sunshine, 21, 23, 27, and 26 on Sunday with some sun and cloud. Meanwhile, Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, and the Big KL. Local smoke, of course, for tomorrow. Chance of showers Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and some Sunday. We've got some sunshine at 21, 24, 27, and again, some sun and cloud for Sunday as part of your weekend. And North Bay, West Nipissing, local smoke tomorrow. Mainly cloudy skies, but that's okay. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we've got some sunshine in the forecast at 22, 23, 27, and 26. So, Tony, once we get through tomorrow, for the most part, it's clear sailing with loads of sunshine. Those temperatures will get a little warmer, but no extremities in terms of humidity, what have you. So, again, it's a fine-looking forecast for the next little while and not too hot. Back to you.
That's right, Rick, with the Civic Long Weekend approaching. Well, officials with the City of Greater Sudbury say lifeguard supervision at 7 beaches will end August 17th. The city notes that swimming at the beaches after this date is at your own risk. Greater Sudbury operates 7 public beaches: Bell Park Main Beach, Cape Real Public Beach, Calmo Beach, Centennial Park Beach, Moonlight Beach, Nepowan Beach, and Whitewater Lake Park. They say since most of their lifeguards are post-secondary students who will be heading back to school in the fall, so they have to wrap up mid-August.
Many of those staff also come from positions in our municipal pools. So as we prepare to return to a full slate of programming in our pools, we need to get those beach staff transitioned out of the waterfront positions and back into the pools to prepare for that fall scheduling.
Around the region, North Bay's lifeguard program is at full staff. The city says this is the first summer in several years that there's a full complement of lifeguards across all 3 of its supervised beaches. Shubgizik Park, the Cove, and Olmsted Beach lifeguard duties end August 23rd. Gillies Lake in Timmins has supervision through July and August, while Sault Ste. Marie has no supervision at any of its municipal beaches. As the Civic Long Weekend draws near, many of us are getting ready to pack up and go camping. But while spending time in nature is great for your mind, it can be tough on your body. CTV's Amanda Hicks explains.
From hiking scenic trails to casting a line for fishing, there's a lot to enjoy about camping in the great outdoors. But there is the potential for some camping-related aches and pains as well, says Dr. Leah Lawson, a chiropractor based in Parry Sound. She says she often sees a number of campers arriving at her clinic in pain.
They are cooking at a lower level. They may be sleeping on a harder surface. They might be lifting more than what they usually do at home. So all of these things put a greater demand onto your body and your spine in particular.
Lawson says optimizing your sleeping position is one step to avoid injury.
Really important that if you are a side sleeper, I encourage you to put a pillow in between your knees. That will take some pressure off of your hips. If you're a back sleeper, to ensure that you might want to try putting a pillow under your knees, and that will give your legs a little bit of a propped up, take some pressure off your lower back.
Staff at Ramaco Sports and Adventure Store in Sudbury say choosing the proper footwear is key in preventing slips, blisters, and rolled ankles. To protect your back, it's best to choose a backpack that is the correct size for your body type.
You want your pack to fit from the base of your neck in your C7 right to your hip bone, right in the middle of your iliac crest. So you really want it to sit there. Generally, when you're fitting a pack to someone, you want to make sure that the hip strap is going to sit right on top of the hip when they're tightening it. If it sits on top or it sits too low, it will move as you're walking.
And Dr. Lawson says poor body mechanics is the most common cause of joint and back pain. She adds maintaining proper body positioning and being mindful of your movements are a few tips to prevent injury so you can make the most of your camping trip. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
The city of North Bay is postponing its scheduled drone show August 3rd out of an abundance of caution. At a drone show July 18th at the Lake Nipissing waterfront, high winds knocked 8 drones from the sky. 6 of them fell in a safety zone, while 2 fell outside the zone. 1 plummeted onto a parked car, while a second slammed into Memorial Drive. No one was hurt. The city says a proactive decision was made as it continues to review the incident, and it's considering further safety measures. Another drone show is scheduled to take place August 29th. When will it open? Coming up on CTV News at 5, we take you to Elliott Lake and the latest on the Rogers Arena. We're learning more on where the arena project stands in Elliott Lake as the city works to reopen the Rogers Arena, formerly known as Centennial Arena. Special Projects Manager Bill Goulding gave an update to council last night. Goulding says the city has now received a draft audit from architects and is reviewing recommendations. It'll confirm the baseline requirements for reopening the arena. In his report, Goulding says a reopening sometime during the 2025-26 season may be possible, but reopening by end of summer is not feasible.
So I wouldn't want to speculate to any certain degree. There's 2 things happening at once here. We're really watching the install of this foundation system. So as that rolls out and we learn more, we'll proceed as quickly as we can to commission whatever design work or consultancy that we can when it makes sense. And the second thing is that I'm relying on consultants to come back with their reporting in a timely fashion. So they've already demonstrated that they're willing to do that, and we're working together, and all of that's going as quickly as possible.
And a follow-up report is expected in August. Next steps planned include resuming work on the electrical and sprinkler system after the foundation phase wraps up. Sudbury's Huntington University is partnering with an internationally renowned organization in France. The René Cassin Foundation signed a memorandum of understanding recently with Huntington's Canadian Institute of Human Rights and Global Health. The foundation is named for its Nobel Peace Prize winning founder and teaches international human rights law around the globe. This MOU offers a chance for increased learning and collaborative research between the 2 organizations. The largest all-women golf tournament north of Toronto took over the Ottawa Golf and Country Club in Sudbury today. 144 participants hit the links after creating this giant cancer ribbon. The event is so popular it sells out in just a few days, drawing female participants from Toronto and as far away as Hilton Head in the United States. Health Sciences North Foundation is the recipient of the funds raised and has been since 2020. Organizers estimate they have raised more than $23,000 to date.
Well, I lost my sister a couple of years ago to cancer. We have a history of cancer in the family. So it was really important that for the community that we step up, and we want to be part of the movement. We want to be part of the voice. And the women, if you want to get things done, get 144 women together because we can multitask.
The Shirley and Jim Fielding Cancer Center is one of the top cancer centers in Ontario, and to have their support to go right back in the community for the ones that they support and love is very, very important.
This is the 14th year for the event, which first supported the Canadian Cancer Society before organizers discovered the funds weren't staying local, which caused the switch 5 years ago. Organizers hope this year's event will bring in $10,000. 3 First Nations are coming together to search the former St. John's residential school sites near Chapleau. This story may be upsetting to some viewers. CTV's Lydia Chubak has the details.
From August 1st to August 3rd, a team of historic human remains detection dogs will be searching 2 sites that belong to St. John's Residential School near Chapleau. Other types of searches of the sites have been done, including using ground-penetrating radar. But Dixon says one site is heavily wooded and is not ideal for that method. At the second site, there is a graveyard for former St. John students.
The historic human remains detection dogs, essentially what they're looking for is odor from decomposition. And they've been specially trained to make sure that they're not confusing the odor they're looking for with composition from animals. So they've been also hired in a team of 3 to negate potential bias.
According to the National Centre for Truth and Reconciliation website, the Chapleau Residential School north of Chapleau operated from 1907 to 1919, and a new school opened south of the town in 1920. In 1908, an Indian Affairs inspector said that 7 of 31 children at the school had died in a 3-month period, and parents temporarily stopped sending their children to it. The school was damaged by fires in 1944 and 1947. It closed in 1948 and was torn down. Chapleau Cree, Chapleau Ojibwe, and Brunswick House First Nations are partnering on this search to get answers about the children who never came home from the Anglican-run school.
Well, it's definitely something that I've heard echoed by the survivors that, since they were no longer students in these types of institutions, they wanted to make sure that the children who did not come home were forgotten.
Dixon says the team is also collecting oral history.
We are available at any time to essentially interview those survivors and their families if they're, able to sit down and speak with us.
Dixon says it could take multiple years to complete the project, and on paper, government funding is available until 2026, and an extension may be required. Dixon says a final findings report will eventually be released, but additional searches may be required before winter. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
For the Indigenous community, the pain and trauma of residential schools, of course, is intergenerational. For survivors and families, there is a crisis line available 24 hours a day. That number is 1-866-925-4419. Is it a dog or a cat? What pet is up for adoption this week in our Take Me Home Tuesday segment? You'll have to wait for that. You're watching First at 5.
Take Me Home Tuesday on the road at the SPCA in Sudbury, right next to Collège Boreal. Emma Bailey, my guest as usual, or I'm actually your guest this week because I'm on the road. We're at your home and we're talking about Maddie and Marne, 2 sisters who have to go and find a new home together.
Absolutely. They're just bonded so long. They're 3 years old. They've been together their entire lives, so we're hoping they'll stay together. Marne is more of the outgoing one, and Maddie is the more shy one, so you get the best of both worlds with 2 cats. And they're just looking for somewhere where they can come out of their shell, really grow, and just find their forever home.
So the ideal home, what would you suggest would be the ideal setting for these two sisters?
These girls like being the queens of the castle. They'll share it together, so we're hoping they'll go to a home where they're the only pets right now. They don't seem very fond of other dogs, so where they can just thrive and live on their own would be perfect for them.
Okay, so nutritional needs, I guess you've mentioned before, when separated, they don't eat, or don't like to eat, or don't want to eat. So how do we best accommodate their nutritional needs?
So we supply them with Royal Canin cat food. They're provided it daily, and then if they ever have any issues with their eating, we can always switch up their flavors and try something new.
Is it more difficult trying to find homes for two sisters, brothers in situations like this?
It is harder because we have to find someone who's willing to take on both, which is a lot of responsibility. But these two are just such a wonderful pair that we think they'll just perfectly complement someone's life.
Okay, Emma, something else that we want to talk about as well. You've been inundated with a lot of cats and dogs coming to the shelter. How is that coming along?
Our intakes are every single day. We're keeping really, really busy. We currently have a wait list for the community of animals coming in. So we're up at least 14% from last year. So it's definitely growing in the need.
Wow, 14%. Please do whatever you can, but first let's find a home, a suitable home for Maddie and Marne. They have to be together. Perhaps that home is yours. Emma, thanks so much, and good luck in finding a home for Maddie and Marne.
Thank you for joining us.
Emma Bailey, as usual, from the Sudbury SPCA. I'm Rick Wyman. We're back in 7 days with more.
Our first community close-up comes to us from West Nipissing. Terry St. Jean sent us this picture of a beautiful Canadian sunset at Crystal Falls, north of Sturgeon Falls. Thanks so much for thinking of us, Terry. Let's head to Haileybury and Mowat Landing Cottage. Roseanne emailed this photo of a flower bed in a canoe. Thanks so much, Roseanne. We're off to Trout Lake in North Bay. Lynn sent us this reflection of the clouds in the water. Great capture there, Lynn. Thanks so much. And finally, there's a new book for kids honoring Terry Fox. Author Denise Diaz read her book, T is for Terry, an ABC of courage to a group of children and their parents yesterday. The book chronicles Terry Fox's life from his childhood through to his marathon of hope in 1980. And there's more news for the North coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.